You know, if there was one thing that God put me down on this earth to do, it was to spend money. Hey everyone, Nick Bull as a hopeless guitar enthusiast here with you once again. And I've got so many irons in the fire. I got so much stuff boiling in the pot and whatever hot euphemisms you want to make that it's really outrageous. I have gone guitar crazy. So between all of my guitar building and demos and reviews and surfing online for guitars, I need to organize these. So I'm going to put these videos into different series. So I've already started a series called What You Buildin', which features all of my project guitars that I am building myself. And I'm also going to start a series here called What You Buyin'. In this series of videos, we're going to be looking at what I am buying, any gear that's coming in, stuff that's going out. So whenever I have something that I see that I buy, and I have made a few impulse buys recently. Custom Shop 7 pickup with pink graffiti overspray? No interest if you pay over 117 months? But whenever I go on like a big guitar haul, I'm going to show what I have coming in, because eventually it's probably going to be put up for sale, but it's usually guitars that I'm bringing in for demos and reviews. It's a little bit of a preview of what's to come. So sit back and relax, grab a 2-liter of Mountain Dew, and take a look at all the crap that I bought in the last month. I've just been going nuts, but I hope to do demos on all of these guitars, so check it out. All right, as you can see, we got quite an assortment of cases here, so let's get to it. To start out, so you know, because everyone's uptight about this, just a baby channel as I'm recording this. There's no promotion, there's nothing, so everything I say here is just my opinion. I'm not getting paid to promote anything, but I want to start with all these cases. I have a lot of money in cases, and these come from Rondo Music. They are made in China, and they're actually really nice. And I just got like basically a guitar's worth of them. There's nothing in here, but this is a brown Tolex with an orange interior. And I really love these cases because you can fit Strats in it, you can fit Tellys in it. I'm really impressed. And I do have to pay shipping because you buy them warehouse direct. You do have to pay a flat rate, but they actually are just, you know, about the same price, a little cheaper than if I went to a store and tried to get a bunch of ordered just name brand ones from the store. I really liked how they look. They stack well. And what's cool about them is, well, you have them in all these different colors, so you can color code your cases, which I have a problem with because I'm always building stuff. And then you can put them under the bed, or you can stack them like that. So sometimes I have quite a bit of these, but whenever I build something, I'm always like, oh shoot, I don't have a place to put it. So I always have like these cheap straggler guitars or stuff that I'm building. And these are bags that came from them. These were 35 a piece. Granted, I had to pay shipping, but these are actually surprisingly good for 35 bucks. So we're gonna go through here rapid fire style, hopefully. So this one is a parts build. And I hate saying that because I feel it's kind of derogatory, but this one truly is a parts build. Cheap body, and this neck was an all parts neck that a really fat profile that I had for like 8 years and I hadn't done anything. And this was kind of like blowing off steam, wasn't really up to snuff with, you know, my workshop yet, getting the house all together. It's basically an E-type build, Joe Barden bridge with the cut and the compensated saddles. This is a guitar fetish, basically Joe Barden knockoff split rails. It's got a tap on there. And what's cool is it's got a Esquire type wiring where it's just the volume, and then this is volume and tone, and then that is the Eldred mod. So it's kind of like a cocked wah sound. And this has got one of those slant plates where that switch is at an angle, so it's easier to dig it out from the volume. I haven't even screwed on the pickguard yet. But this was just for fun. This was just to kind of blow off steam and say I want to build something with some cheap parts. And it was parts that I pretty much had lying around for other builds. So that might get cannibalized for something else. This one I have shown. And again, I don't like the term parts builder because I spent a lot of time finishing, doing fret work. It's a lot of work I put in here. So this is more than just a parts guitar. But this is my E-type. It's that lightweight Polonia wood or whatever they call it. It weighs under 6 pounds. It's got the 2-piece Wenge neck. Everyone who sees this and plays it in person wants it. Again, I know if you look on the internet, oh, it's just a parts guitar. You can put that together. No, you can't. This thing is killer. Lindy Fralin P90. It's a Fender bridge that somebody actually modified to cut. Compensated brass saddles, same E-type wiring. This one has the old-fashioned like 50s woof tone in there, which I like, but it drops too much in volume to be usable. But this thing, you can play it all night, and I love it. It's my number one. It's snappy, and it's got a huge neck profile. It's a boat neck, so it's nitro lacquer and then mostly shellac on the neck. And this is all natural wear. It's starting to already get a lot of dings and nicks, and the lacquer's checking. I don't know if you can see that. The lacquer is definitely checking. It's all just honest playwear. It's not aged. I have a lot of name brand guitars here, but I might as well show you my builds just because I'm proud of them. And again, these cases are not, I mean, they're made in China. They're inexpensive cases, but they're really well built. I love the shape. I love the finish of them. So this is an S-type build, kind of like a 57 era. And I did kind of the dog hairs finish technique, and it's basically whitewash with ebony filler, but I did put like a little bit of a transparent white to sort of, you know, I had that like rustic barn door furniture look to it, which I didn't like on a guitar. So I actually put like another whitewash or, you know, transparent Mary Kay type finish on it to kind of smooth it out. Extremely lightweight. This body was under 3 pounds. It was like 2 pounds, 13 ounces before the finish and hardware on there. 1-piece maple neck, gold Evo Jescar fret wire, hand-carved bone nut, and those are locking tuners. Those are vintage style, Kluson style. I think they're Goto Wilkinson. I think that's a Wilkinson design. So they look like vintage tuners, but they are locking tuners. Just a cheap guitar fetish bridge, but it's a nicely made bridge. All gold-plated hardware. This one's got the brass block. The pickups are Dogtown. They were wired with NOS 56 wire. These are actually new old stock wire he finds, and then he winds to spec, and I had him wind them to like 57 spec, I think. This one does have a 5-way in there, a single ply pick guard. The tone is wired to here. Really bright and snappy. It's cool to have an ash guitar because they keep saying ash is kind of semi-endangered right now because of the ash borer, and it weighs maybe 6.5 pounds, something like that. So lots of fun, really proud. Not the most perfect guitar in the world. Paint grade ash, but I made it transparent anyways. I still love it. I still think it was good for a first try. Speaking of first try, this one you haven't seen before. This one is the opposite, the alternate brother to that other guitar. This is a dog-haired mahogany body S-type build. And as you can see, there's some custom appointments. So this was a kind of an inexpensive mahogany body, but I wanted to try that dog hair finish technique. And was it perfect? No, I made some mistakes, of course. I did pretty much get it for, you know, these two guitars were my first try with this finish technique. And it's basically a black stain to the bare mahogany. I sealed it, put white pour filler in there, and then clear coated the hell out of it. All my guitars are, I like doing high gloss. I know a lot of people don't like that. So this is a painted neck. It's a maple and rosewood neck with binding on it. And I put the Evo Gold Jescar fret wire. And I know, you know, you like your tongue oil and your natural finished necks, and it's so satiny smooth. Like, you know, if you don't like it, too bad. You know, I get it. I understand it's from a playing perspective, but I like high gloss, flashy, new looking guitars. That's my style. Although these have a little broken in, you know, feel to them. All the parts and the hardware have been on several other builds. So they all have kind of aged. This was on my original Stevie Ray Vaughan Strat that I took off of there when I first got it like 20 years ago. So vintage pickguard. Again, Dogtown. These are 68, 69 era gray bobbins, left-handed wiring. They sound killer. I bought a special set that I had custom wound with really unique specs, but I put these in here because I had the assembly ready and I just was impatient. And these sound awesome. I don't want to take them out. Gold-plated Wilkinson bridge with the compensated holes, Delrin sleeve, pop-in arm, tone control again, controls the bridge. This one actually has a 3-way on there. I'll probably put a 5-way. The bone nut I'm pretty proud of. I carved notches so it actually goes over the binding. So there's a little more playing room. And then again, those gold Kluson style, they're Goto locking tuners, but they look vintage from afar, but they're actually locking tuners. This thing actually sounds and plays incredible. I know I'm a little biased because I built it, but if something sucks, I'll take it apart or I'll redo it. This actually came out really, really nice. I'm surprised how nice it came out. But at least I got my first one out of the way, and so each time I do this finish, it'll be better and better. Nice case too. So I went to Sam Ash Music in Lombard. My buddies Zach and Chris made some new friends over there. They struck me up some deals, and I had to get this one. I wonder what's in this case. Jeez, what could it be? So yeah, some of you will see my Explorer video, which I thought would do well. Maybe like after 5 years, I'd rack up some views, but it's actually gotten like, it's pretty well viewed. Checking out my 2019 Explorer video. And I've had a few people, you know, thank you for watching and commenting, say, hey, are you gonna do the V? Are you gonna do the V? So yes, it's an original collection. It's actually, I hate to say, it's not a 2020, it's a 2019, but it is the current original collection. So it's a Flying V, all mahogany 3-piece body with some really nice figuring. Man, there's some cool mineral streaks and stuff in there. It's got Grover tuners, so I dated it. It's like June of 2019 based on the serial number. Kind of a pukey looking rosewood fretboard, to be honest. I probably wouldn't have bought it if I just had seen it, but I picked it up and played it and it sounded so good. I'm like, yeah, this one's a nice one. I have to get it. So the burst buckers, again, the 3 and the 2, which I don't like in the Explorer. They sound fantastic in the V. One of the reasons where I was like, okay, yeah, I gotta pick this up. But I got this for a review, and hopefully it won't take me a year and a half to do the videos, because I put so much damn production into them that I can't just like turn out videos once a day, because I do all the editing, shooting, and music, and production, lighting, and all that myself, which is like really... I put in too much work. I gotta simplify it. So I got the V. I'm excited about that. You know, I thought in the back of my mind about doing a review on the Gibson version of this guitar because I kind of liked that design so much. And I thought about doing it with the Epiphone, and they had this, and it was so nice. I'm like, I made a bunch of deals with them for some gear, and I said, okay, how about if we throw this one in here too? Can you make me a deal on this one? I even got the nice Epiphone case, which was like $100. This is a brand new 2020 Epiphone SG Special. And believe it or not, this is a really good guitar. And it looks cool. I love custom colors. And that's that sparkling burgundy. And they have the same exact guitars in the Gibson line. So there's actually a Pelham Blue and sparkling burgundy SG Special in both the Gibson and the Epiphone. I was so impressed with it. In fact, they had a Pelham Blue Gibson, and it wasn't as nice as this. It just, I am floored at how nice this guitar is. It plays great. It sounds great. I loved it. I go, yeah, I think I have to buy this because I want to do a review on it. For the money, I can't believe how nice it looks. This reminds me of kind of the quality, even maybe nicer than the 90s Korean made stuff. And like, yeah, I know the hardware and the electronics are a little cheaper, so everyone's like, yeah, you get it, put in new pickups and take the alpha pods on. And like, you don't need to do anything. It sounds great as is. I mean, yeah, if you want to, I get it. Everyone has different tastes, but this thing was so awesome. Like, I go, it's stupid for the money. It's just great as it is. You don't have to do anything to it. There's this really nice metallic-y thing with the sunlight hitting it. Man, that looks so cool. Sounds great, plays great. Great guitar, great look. All right, you've seen this one here, so here's the story on this. So this one is one of the ones that I've kept, that I've had for about 2 years now. Exactly 2 years, about the September 2018. So I've had this guitar for 2 years. That's a long time for me. So it's my 2018 limited edition SG Junior with the most incredible 2-piece mahogany body you could ever find. It's just, it's awesome. It's so beautiful. So what happened is Sam Ash, of course, I was looking at there and an R8 came in that was awesome. It was I love R8s because I like big necks. I'm a big neck guy. I like them more than the 59s. It was lightweight. It was about 8 pounds. It was a lemon drop top, lightly figured. It played like a dream. It was one of the nicest R8s I've ever had my hands on. I was in a battle trying to get it with one of the employees, and the employees was trying to sell stuff. I was trying to sell stuff, and he beat me to it. So I know where it's at, and he's a heavy breathing guitar nerd like me. So I need a new friend so we can wear our black t-shirts and breathe heavily and talk about the details of what year capacitor a thing was used on a Strat that no one cares about. I put this up for sale on the forums and Reverb. I have 4 people who I promised I would call them when I sell it. I have several people saying, hey, when you're ready to sell it, because I pulled it off because I didn't get the Gibson R8. And I'm like, I really love this guitar. I mean, it's simple. Wraparound tailpiece, volume and tone, dog ear P90, tone for days. I love how this guitar played. Besides the fact that it has this killer 2-piece body with all this figuring jumping out at you, it actually is super nice. But the problem is when you got the heat, you can't hold on to it. I'm not a dealer, but any dealer knows, you know, it's like it sucks because when you get a good guitar, it's like, well, I know I won't be able to hang on to that one forever, even though I want to, because people just are always going to be offering me money for it. And that's what one of those guitars. This guitar, I know it's not a 50s Gibson, but I'm like, they don't make them like they used to. You're not going to see a Les Paul Standard kind of like this nowadays. I know I've showed this off, but I love showing it off. It's my 2001 Les Paul Classic. They made probably thousands of these. There's nothing special about it in the model line for a long time. Nothing special, slim taper neck. This one, of course, has had parts, you know, replaced. And it was in a cigar smoking studio. So, yeah, you can still smell the cigars sometimes. You get a little whiff of it. Antiquity 2, Seymour Duncan in the bridge. And then I don't know what's in the neck, like a 57 Classic. I put the bell knobs back on there. Total plain top, just straight grain maple. And the honey burst is faded to like almost a tobacco burst, not that dark yet. It's definitely doesn't look like the other honey bursts from this era, but it's got the vintage ABR one with the wire, real vintage spec looking for a standard production Les Paul. Beat to crap, but there's 1-piece mahogany back, huge chunks taken out of the thing. I mean, it's been loved. There's no breaks. It's completely straight as far as the wood being in good condition. I mean, it's been messed with, of course, but I love this guitar. I'd get rid of it if I found the right custom shop. But then, of course, if I find the right custom shop, then that's big money, and then everyone will want that. So that's why I kind of kept on holding on to this one. There's some other cases, but we're gonna wait to another video because those are builds, but those are really cool. I think you'll like those. Oh yeah, and if that weren't enough, so when I bought the V in that SG Special, I had my eye on getting an amp because I really want to start reviewing amps. The problem with amps is, you know, they're expensive to ship, they're big, they're bulky, you can't really trade them like guitars. But this is where most of your tone is, besides these things. God, look at those sausage fingers, man. This is where your tone is. So you can have the greatest guitar in the world. If you don't have a good amp, it doesn't matter. So that's why I want to really get into that. However, you know, I impulse bought this Vox and there's issues with it. And I'll probably do another video seeing if people can help me sort of pinpoint that. They're just made in China, made by the thousands, cheap amps. So I got a decent deal on it. If I have to put it on the bench or bring it into someone who knows more about amps and retube it, now it's not such a good deal. So I might return this, but I love the way it sounds. It has a problem where it keeps this white noise comes out of nowhere. Sounds great, but has issues. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, it's a AC15C1. So just a regular import PC board, AC15 type amp. Has a import greenback in it. And then this is a Fandango 1x1255. It's the complete opposite of what I go for in an amp now. It's feature laden, but this was sitting at Sam Ash for maybe several years and it was tucked in the back and no one knew what it was. And that's weird. It's like certain stores have good stuff, but people just don't pick up on it. So they had marked it down several times and I even got a better deal on it. The thing is, there's issues, of course, you know, freaking used amps, man. There's problems with the reverb. It works, but there's a lot of buzzing.
It's not the tube. I don't know if it's the pan. It's still a killer amp, and I still got a great deal on it, and I can use it without the reverb, which it doesn't really need. I mean, a lot of people know about Paul Rivera. He worked with Fender. He's been making amps for decades. He's been modding amps for a long time. But in the realm of things, when you talk to guitarists, they don't know anything about Rivera. So I hope to do a demo on that. The Vox will probably have to go back. I'll put money down on something else. There's a few guitars I want to order. I really would like to get another amp, but I know another of those will always come along. The Fandangos, you don't always see those, so I had to snatch that up. So thank you very much for watching this first episode of What You Buying. I hope in the next few weeks and months put out some demos and reviews of the guitars and amps that you have seen here. Please let me know what you like, what you're excited to see. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm just a guy who's completely obsessed with this gear, and any way that you can do to help me out to grow the channel so I can start doing these reviews and videos more regularly would be very much appreciated. So thank you very much again for watching. This is Nick Belezzo, Hopeless Guitar Enthusiast, signing off, saying always keep your wallets open.